Hello there. This is just um, a thought on alien propulsion and UFO propulsion as an whole. We've seen many times through books and videos and thousands of times how the UFO different creatures and all sorts of shapes and sizes and same with the craft themselves. Um, we don't know if it's true or false, but because um, a lot of them turn out to be just storytelling, don't they? Unfortunately, but some we are. I'm trying to put on stories which I'm can't say 100%, but which pretty sure they're true. But quite often they're not. But it's how many times do we see, which we know is 100% convinced us, yes, they're here. And if so, by thinking logically that they are the truth and they are here, and we're not picking up by satellites, we're not picking up by radio telescopes. I mean, we've picked things up well, signal 77, what they admit to, and a few more signals. But it's other things what Bob baboos with me. Like with most people over the years, we get deja vu, don't we? You know, everybody does. I think, well, I've been here before. I always remember my wife when my sons were small. Mum and my lads were doing the paper where I'm taking local newspaper around. And I just got back in from night's work and my wife shouting, get up. My wife never shouts, get up, get up. You've got to take him and do his paper round. And as I go up, I went through the front door. She shouted to the back. And our youngest son then, who's quite old now, he went to the top of the drive. And just as he got to the top of the drive, a car soon by, in fact, he took all the edge out. What, another few inches, he would have took his life away. And if it weren't my wife having some sort of thing, and she's never done this before, but I'm saying you hear these stories. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes that, so I know. We often hear these stories, billions and billions, and everybody's had these stories themselves. So, and how many times do we hear UFOs use an ability to convince people when they take them away that they're surrounded what they see or they see what they want to see, and somehow in their mind they can adapt and change. It's if somehow we have an ability in our brain which we don't need a UFO or somebody else to adapt for us. We can do it ourselves. But obviously they can lock onto it a bit. But at the same time, I've read before with a lot of times these propulsion systems, the pitch in the place where they go, and just like you often hear people use psychedelic and to see things other side of the world, and they're doing it through a lab on a spaceship and doing that way. That's not saying they're not using a propulsion system. I believe they are. I mean, I came across something some years ago. I mean, a fusion propulsion system. I mean, obviously, even if you did 7 or 8 million miles per hour, it seems quite fast. But if you're light years away, you're still going to take your, um, you'll be still chewing it years old. I mean, you're getting away even at that speed. But if you put a vortex, like a magnet thing, if you like, vortex, picture a magnet vortex and go through it, put it in a simpler way, but going into it and go through it that way with a system that does 10 miles per hour. And in which case you can see it looks like you're going through a time loop, but you're just not. You just get there quicker. That's basically really. It's not magic or making loops. I mean, it looked like magic because basically it would be so fast. Somebody could basically come in and sit next to you on the settee and go again. You wouldn't know. Um, yeah, and it looked like deja vu, it looked like ghosts, and that's phenomena. And it makes you wonder, if all these things, what we have in there is air, is somehow we can ascertain it quite regular. Some people more so than others. I mean, how many times do we see proper mediums contact ghosts and things. And when you talk about ghosts as well, I'm quite interested that as well, because how many times we see people capture them in door cameras and things like that, and other door cameras where they can't. And it's same with glass windows. The modern glass windows don't seem to catch it, but the old glass windows where they much where they're fired up probably longer, old-fashioned glass, they seem to catch the poltergeist more. Whether there's a link between there, I know it's a tangent from the propulsion system, but what I'm saying is thinking there's something around where we can capture, just like some people can mine, just like my wife caught in the future, my son not getting one over. There's something around, and that's the same something what the little green men, if you like, are using. But that's not to say that again they're not using. I believe they're using a fusion propulsion system because I believe that's the quickest way to go, because you're breaking. Yeah, it's the lowest denominator anyway, but it still won't be quick enough. So you still have to go through a vortex and what have you. But it's not a break in time. From it you can go. People argue you can't go back in time for, but I'm not going to argue. But I believe you can. I know you can anyway. Old Nikolai Tesla years ago, and a certain Vatican priest. I can't remember the names actually. Both of them made a little box. I can't remember what it's called. I'll do one on that. And it was like capturing pictures of time and ancient photos. I mean, the Vatican priest had one of the best Italian physicists and one of the best Italian mathematicians worked with him and checked it out, and both said, "Yeah, great, this is going, this works." And Tesla certainly admitted to making one. It's like a capture of time, just like we were saying a few minutes ago, how the glass captures poltergeist. They was capturing. Imagine how Tesla described it, which is I like how this, not the Tesla now, the clever one, Nikola Tesla, how he described we all live on a cosmos line. So basically, once you jump on that cosmos, you can go back and forth on it, whether you know, and that's how he pictured, and that's how I picture the same way. So, and that's how he made this device to go back and forth. Not actually just go back, but take pictures. And the Vatican priest, can't remember his name, he did the same with a great mathematician and a physicist. And but there's some pictures on the internet. I think they're probably false. Honest pictures of Jesus, I think. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to mock it. You know, it's probably true. But I think the story's out there is true. We won't ever see pictures of what they did. I mean, I do know even Einstein and Marconi worked together on podcasts. We'll never see that on the internet, but I know they did. Um, and who has the papers on it? I ain't got the faintest. But they again, it's because they understood there's an energy around us, and they want to ascertain it. Um, um, there's a physicist, Henry Morey, some years ago, made a device. I tried to replicate it. I failed. I tried most energy systems over the years, but this one I couldn't do. It's not to say I disprove Henry Morey. I believe what he said was true, but I couldn't do it. I even cheated in different ways, but I still couldn't do it. But he had it patent, and he was using what he called the ether. I think he describes when we're coming into his valves and during electricity. Remember, electricity is always classed as a wave, but it's not a wave. People don't know what it is actually. You know, so when they say it's a wave, it's not actually a wave. Nobody knows what it is. But anyway, during this thing in, and he powering up lights, and he got a patent for it. But well, pulling Henry Morey down, because I think his device was brilliant. At the time, I think it was 20s, 30s, and there was he didn't know this, but we know now there was a very large magnetic cloud over that type of time about where he was. That's why there are lots of droughts and dust storms, and and that maybe what it locked into. And I always wondered, just like Tesla wondered, if you can lock into it now instead of using solar, lock into the magnetic ports around Earth. Some of it so far out you can't reach it, but some you can, and I think that's what we're doing. But again, is that what we think? Is that the device what's powering? Is this magnetic energy what's powering the Portugas and the capturing the cap? I don't know. There's got to be some energy, so there's got to be something powering something. But is it how it's all related? Probably all like this, That's what I think. I think because once you get to the lowest denominator, like people think atom, but if you think of fusion going to the true lowest denominator, the zero, where actually fusion isn't any, it isn't a lot of energy. It's the zero. It's nothing. When it gets filled up, that's the amount. That's powerful. So you've got to zero energy, and then I see no reason you can't walk about it if you like. Go for a little walk, and I think that's how extraterrestrials doing it. That's why we can't see them, so at least, and some people can. I always find it's fascinating when John Lennon described he couldn't understand, and how many times we hear this, thousands of times, and we've all seen things. So how could nobody else saw that? And it's as if they can block out everybody else's view and only meant for you to see, or they put it specifically for that person. Again, it's manipulate the space around us. Again, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? But anyway, I hope you like that. Again, it's that proportion UFO, so if I'm honest. Yes, I've got a narrow mind, obviously, with it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. What I should put you under, I ain't got friends at the minute. Not fusion, I should work on that another day. We've just put, don't know yet, design. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any views on UFO propulsion, please tell me about it. I'll talk to you all day about it. Yeah, and yeah. All right. God bless. Bye bye.